know how I know I appreciate this music? There's a dude that walks around like a pimp and raps like this. I cannot think of his name right now. And that shit's fire to me. Like, I'll listen to it.
Well, everybody used to rap like this.
No, but like now in this era, like right now, there's a dude that dresses up like a pimp. He put on a little fake teeth. Matter of fact, he be rapping with 4 eyes.
Was this like a content creator?
Yes, but he got bars though.
Rapping with 4, only like 4 people in the world know who 4 Eyes is right now.
That's crazy though, because most people in the world have heard 4 Eyes if you're a big hip hop Ludacris fan.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying. And if y'all don't know, 4 Eyes is a rap artist. He was on Ludacris's
DTP.
Was it? No. But I'm saying the song that I know him from was.
Oh, he's on all the album, but he does that on every album.
I think that was the first one though.
Well, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So which one was that one on?
4 Eyes.
I make eat dirt and fart dust. Yeah.
Give to take the pussy's all us.
I eat the whole pie and leave nothing but the crust. Look at that. That's the first time we got engagement from him. That's his shit.
It was.
Yo, you creeping at a low speed playing that kind of hard though. But anyway, yes. I want to welcome y'all to the You Wasn't Outside podcast on the Grown Folks Podcast Network. I'm one of your hosts, not doing the most, normal ass Carl. To my front, I have my man at Just Lex. Together we form Voltron. It's glad to have you back in the room, my brother. Should I ask you?
And Just Lex.
Nope.
Should I ask you how your week has been?
My week has been just fine.
All right, that's all. I just wanted to make sure I be safe. You know, I want to be safe.
Good, man.
Me, been all right, man. Thanks for asking, bro. Like, you know, a lot of things. You know what's funny? Here, let me make sure I clear this up too, because the way that my man Mike was responding to me last week when I was telling him about like our pod relationship. I know you ain't listen. Right, I tried telling Jonah text is like, yo, Lex, you got to know him. If he ain't involved in it and he got too much shit going on, he ain't gonna listen, dog. That's just how it is. But Mike was giving me shit, right? Mm-hmm. Like non-verbally about like how we communicate, right?
About how me and you or how y'all two was communicating?
Me and you,
oh.
Right? I was like, look, I probably talk to him like in general in the group chat. But the pod actually replaces the conversations that we would have, like sit downs. Like I usually used to go months without talking to Lex, right? But we would still pick up wherever we always left off because we just go into the world and bring something back to share with each other, right? So I was like, we kind of take that on a weekly basis. One, we don't like talking in between the pod, right? No one likes to admit it out of us two, but I don't like talking to you outside the pod because I feel like whatever shit that we normally do is worth somebody listening to, right?
We be wasting shit.
Yeah, we just be wasting shit. Not that I don't fuck with them, right? It ain't that. Number two, we have a designated time. Most pods that we know, that we know, right? Like we actually know them. They pod at different times and days all the time and schedule meetups. Us, we have a consistent schedule where we know we're going to meet at 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock on Sundays. Whenever Lex texts me and let me know he ready, I'm just in the bed chilling, waiting to get up, right? So it isn't like we know we're going to pod on Sunday. I know I'm going to see him. So if I got something to tell him on Friday or whatever, or Thursday, I'm like, yo, I'm going to see him for 2 hours on Sunday every week. I can save it for there. I know he going to be there, right? In the event that he or I don't show up, it's happened before. Y'all just don't know it, how it happens, right? I will say maybe 2 or 3 days, hey, look, we probably going to have to change the time up. We're going to do this. He'll tell me, hey, we might have to change the time up, have to do this. So that's literally how we operate, right? So, yeah, man.
What does that have to do with him giving you shit?
Basically, he thought the way it came across, right, which is why I kind of played into it earlier, was like we were having a battle. Now, here's the thing. Knowing you for years, I have never gotten into an argument with you that resulted in us not being friends. Neither one of us, and out of the both of us, I'd be the one to take it to the next level, have ever taken it to the next level and said something extremely disrespectful to each other.
But you've wanted to.
I'd have hurt. Not because it's anything like you know when somebody say something to you that's so fucking true, and you have to eat that, but you don't like it, so you decide to tear them down real quick.
That's why me and my mom don't talk.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you. That's fucking a real thing though. Like, yo, somebody say something to you that's so appalling but true that you be like, nah, you're not about to just out me like that. But no, I've never felt that way though. I mean, for me, if somebody says something that's the truth or whatever, I gotta own that shit. It is what it is. Some people be lying to themselves.
Most people be lying to themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, man. Hit my hand claps, bro. Let's get straight into it.
Yeah, let's talk about reason.
Nah, we ain't gotta talk about reason. That's cool.
I would. I just ain't I ain't heard it yet. But I know what the thing is surrounding it.
I haven't heard the hip hop, or I haven't watched the hip hop 50. I'm sure they got a link somewhere. But explain it to us. Talk to us about it. Who organized it? Where was it at? Who streamed it? Whatever the case may be.
Well, hip hop 50 is its own thing. I mean, they just had they had they had like a concert at Yankee Stadium.
Let me ask you this though: how did they designate that? Like what was the first hip hop song? You just played it?
Oh, that's interesting. You bring that up. I don't know if I can put this on my phone right now, but
what do you mean?
Well, Rapper's Delight usually gets the credit for being.
And when did that happen?
That was 1979, so that's 6 years.
But in the summer?
In the summer?
Like why right now, like, or why Friday for the date of Hip Hop 50? Like, are they saying like
August 11, 1973, 1520 Sedgwick Avenue in the South Bronx, DJ Kool Herc threw a back to school party to raise money for back to school supplies. And that's where they. Now I'm pretty sure on that specific day, that's not the first day that someone got on a turntable and DJ'd and did all that other shit. So I'm assuming it's older than 50 years old.
But that's something that they can remember.
But you got to put it somewhere,
right?
Like yeah. So 50 years in, and then the first actual recording didn't come until 6 years after that. Otherwise,
let me tell you, the people missed you.
And I can probably go into like
had a few texts. He went into his bag right
I'll go
now.
back. I mean, I could probably go into it like my I'll do this part right now and I'll let you get your own solo shit later, but shows to watch. Paramount, there's a new documentary called Mixtape, and it's the evolution of the mixtape. Now, we often think of like a certain era, like, oh, we're the mixtape era because of this and that, Wayne, 50 and all that, but mixtapes have been around the whole time. They just evolved into a certain thing. So the first recording on wax for hip hop wasn't until 1979, but the mixtape, as we know it before, was people would record these live events and then they'd take them and they tape and they'd bump them. And like, oh, you missed this party. Like this one specific party is on tape. And people like, oh shit, I need that. And they go and they dub it. And these tapes and these parties would be they'd go around. And then that evolved into what we see it as, it went from live events to then we started like recording shit from the radio and stuff like that. That's probably where we kind of come in when we're super, super young, where people were recording shit off the radio. And then it became, the DJs were stealing exclusives from A&Rs and labels and putting them on their own shit and then flooding the streets with that. And so labels were getting mad at people, saying like, you know what, you can't be stealing our shit like this, you know, you're fucking up our money. And then it evolved into kind of what we really think of the mixtape era of, which is like people were taking other people's beats, rapping on them, making them their own, and then they'd use it as like a marketing tool because they can't sell it. And they went from there to where, you know, it got so big that the feds raided DJ Drama and that whole thing. And then the mixtape kind of died. It kind of died after that, because after that, people's mixtapes that they weren't selling were all original music, because at the end of the day, a mixtape is just a marketing tool. And so now the mixtape has kind of evolved into what a playlist is. I'm having a hard time saying the mixtape isn't totally dead, but some people on the documentary are like, no, the mixtape is still alive. It's just, that's what it is. And I'm like, that's not it.
Yeah, no mixtape.
But anyway, yeah. So Hip Hop 50, you know, just given what that culture means to me, I mean, it kind of like, it's who I am. Like, it's all I got pretty much at the end of the day when everything is at zero. So, yeah, I was excited, and it's also one of those things where I'm so into it that when you try to put on something like this, I'm gonna like it in the beginning and be hyped, And then towards the end,
Who put it on though?
I'm gonna start thinking of everything that was missed. It was put on by Mass Appeal, which is Nas's people, and it was at Yankee Stadium.
There we go.
And they had like some legendary sets. So the song we just played, like they came out. Melly Mel and them came out. Kool Herc and all them came out. They did all that. They had the mayor, the governor, some people come out.
Was it thick in there?
Well, towards the end, and then they had like some middle tier people, like Lupe performed, Ghostface and half of Wu-Tang came out, T.I. performed.
No, but I'm saying the crowd. Was there a lot of people in the crowd?
Yeah, but just like any of those concerts that are all day long, at the beginning it's not going to be that thick. But by the time you get to it, it was sold out.
But you have to transport.
By the time
the
time Lil Wayne comes on, it's sold out.
It's thick in there.
And I don't know how big like actual seat number Yankee Stadium is, but it's not just the seats because they also filled out the whole
it's
field.
At least above 40,000.
And then you put
50,000.
whatever you can fit on the field, minus one little section for the stage.
On the field though, you probably only get another couple,
and
2
then
or 3.
Who they considered headliners was Lil Wayne, Snoop, Ice Cube.
Oh, that's bigger than Summer Jam.
Nas, and then Run DMC closed it out.
Summer Jam, you lucky if you get.
Oh no, this was way bigger than Summer Jam, but they tried to include all eras. Obviously, it wasn't. There was a lot of people that probably should have been included that weren't. But when you put on
who was
something
missing
like this,
in your opinion?
I can't do that because there's more people missing than perform. But you can only do so much in 8 hours.
Was it better than the BET Awards version?
Probably the same. I mean, better because you got longer sets for people, and it was pretty organized. For like, one person went out and they had somebody lined up, ready to go, and there wasn't a lot of bullshit in between. There were some people that were on the ticket that I didn't see. The only wasted spot that I really saw throughout at least the time that I watched it was like they put A Boogie with the hoodie on there, and I was like,
he means a lot to New York though.
Right, to New York.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just feel like that slot could have been filled by someone else. But
on the West.
No, there wasn't a whole lot of West Coast representation, but they were in the headline spot. So
they have Snoop as a representative if he's there. That's why they said,
Snoop
"Look, this is
and
enough
Cube.
heavy." It's pretty heavy. I mean, it's pretty heavy.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
there's more. I wish they would have called G Perico.
All right.
Why are you getting mad?
It was album drop day for him, so he was doing some other shit.
He got 5 more to go this year. He's gonna.
I know. That's why once he got
album drop day.
Once he got off tour, I was like, shit, he gonna just start flooding.
Mark
now.
said the same shit to me. Oh man, he said this is usually around the time he just started rapping about everything else again.
Yeah, luckily they only be like 18 minutes at a time, but
there you go.
Yeah, it was good stuff. If you followed me on Instagram, I kind of kept the story flooded with all these random pictures I had on my phone. Now I can get out. And yeah.
All right. Any other albums dropped this week?
Not that I got to, but I saw that there was
anything that people may want to possibly go look at. Listen
people
to?
may want to, probably not.
Okay, Reason.
All right.
We go ahead and go to Reason. Album of the year for me.
Yeah?
No, I'm playing. Yeah, I got to keep y'all on your toes. Reason dropped the album. It's called Porsches. I did a quick listen, right? And that's usually my quick listens are, am I going to come back to this? That's just how I operate. Y'all hate it, whatever. I will go back to the album. My first initial listen through it, it's what I expect from Reason, right? What got me is that, well, one, I do remember 2 weeks ago he was supposed to release, but Travis Scott came. You get the hell out of the way if you can, right? So he pushed the date back. But then, from my understanding is that his manager or someone from his label, right, was talking about him in a very disrespectful way publicly. And I just thought that was ironic that you would do that and put it out there around the same time that your album's being released, right? And I feel like everything's a gimmick, to be able to sell records. I was going to listen to it regardless, but again, I don't know. Here's where I have a hard time with this, right, in correlating. I could say some wild off-the-wall shit on here, put it out on Instagram as a clip or whatever, and people will watch the Instagram clip. Does not mean that it's going to translate into listens. You know what I mean? It
does get more than 0 though, so that's kind of what they go for. It might not work on you, But just like all advertising, there's a reason advertising is advertising, because it does work.
I'm trying to figure out who, right? Because even if, all right, we're getting into a lane with something. YouTube ads. You ever click one straight off of the vid?
Not on purpose.
Yeah, and you hurry up and get out of there, right? I don't know anyone that clicks YouTube ads, right? And where that's profitable, or if I would even do that, you know what I mean?
Like I watch pretty much every single episode of Shark Tank, right?
Yeah.
And like there's yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
There's analytics that show like, how much money you're making per click, because they'll know that some clicks were on accident, some were just like curiosity, but they'll know like, hey, is it worth paying this much for this type of advertising based on, dollars per click, or, however that works. Like they can show you at the end of the day if it's working or not. And the fact that it's not a dead industry, it works.
I mean, I guess, man. I just feel like we don't have to go through these extreme tactics or whatever. And if it wasn't, fake or whatever, right? Why say it then? Because like he's part of the business, and if it's not something, when we put something negative out there, we don't know how it's going to be received, right? Whether it be received like, hey, that person who's, spreading that negativity is actually correct, or if they're coming off as a bully.
Well, because negativity is going to get you there quicker than positivity. We're going to click on all the negative shit first before we click on the positive shit.
Do you click on the negative shit first?
I don't know if I click on anything, but probably.
I'm trying to figure out where these numbers are coming from. It can't be. Look, she just asked me if she could hook her headphones up to the TV, right? So, and by like I get information a lot faster than my mother does.
It's why they're talking about that's why they're like, oh, beef sells. Go get in a rap beef before your album come out, because ain't nobody trying to hear that, save the whale shit.
That makes sense though. That part of marketing, right? And I wish we would go back to it. Like made sense, because you can put out a diss track and absolutely say nothing, and the track used to speak for itself for months. Like I think of the most notable hip hop beef, right? Jay-Z and Nas. Back then, we wasn't getting like full on statements from them. The music would let you know, and you would sit there and stew on it for months. You know what I mean? And maybe a month. I can't remember how fast they were releasing it on the back and forth.
Oh, it took Nas like 8 or 9 months to put Ether out.
That's what I'm saying. And when he did, it was fire.
But it was different though, because he put it on an album, and it was what it was. Like we don't have that. It wouldn't have went that way if it was right now.
Was that the first beef song on an album that was like of that nature?
No. The greatest beef song of all time was way older than that.
Who was that?
No Vaseline.
Oh.
Oh, you mean that one? Yeah, that one.
Oh. I wasn't thinking that far deep. My bad. You spicy, man. All right.
It was 10 years prior.
Oh, man. All right. Anything else? Reason album, like I said, it's solid. He's a TDE artist, trying to find his way.
Well, I also think it's probably a rollout, just because they all kind of do the same shit. But there's probably some truth in all of it. Now, if I'm Reason, I'm not going to be as, like, if SZA, the biggest artist on the label, has the same gripes, then I'm not going to sit here and be surprised when it's my turn to be, upset.
She still has issues with them?
I'm saying she did, because, and then I'm going to look at our roster and be like, damn, everybody takes, 3 to 5 years to come out.
But it's a lot of energy for each person.
It's kind of how I feel about, well, yeah, because you're in the moment. It's your turn to be hot, and you're just like, oh, it's not going to happen to me. It's not going to happen to me. It's the same way I feel about people that sign to Dr. Dre, and they get mad when they don't come out. Like, the track record has been long enough. Hey, yeah, it's a great opportunity. You really want it to happen. But once you put left on the shelf for whatever reason, it's not you can't be surprised. Like, this shit happens to everybody.
The expectation shouldn't be that Dr. Dre is going to handhold me this established in his life.
No, that's not what I mean.
No. I'm agreeing with you. What I'm saying is that most people have the expectation that because I'm signed to this major label, or because I'm signed to this legendary artist or producer or whatever, they're going to walk with me hand in hand.
No, that's not what TDE gripe is about. What they're saying is, hey, we've recorded tons of music. It's ready to go. Why can't we put the shit out? I don't need you to hold my hand. Just put the shit out. Give me a tweet or Instagram post or whatever you do. But let me get the shit out so I can have something moving, so I can go on tour, so I can do my own shit. I'll put in more of the work myself. But if you don't let me put it out, what the fuck am I supposed to do?
I think part of his thing too was though that he wanted like a big feature, and they said he ain't earned one.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's a great you have with your label, but at the same time,
that's what I'm saying. But it's part of it has to do with like, yo, I feel like y'all not giving me the proper hand holding that I wanted. You know what I mean? It's like my time to actually shine. Y'all had Absol and Schoolboy Q have all these, you know, big opportunities. Why can't I have that same? And which I would argue that, hey, look, you probably got on a little too hot because too late for the train because I don't think it's as hot as it used to be.
Well, yeah, he didn't come in at the greatest time, and also, if this is really like, you know, because he doesn't consider his last shit like his debut. If this is really your debut, what the fuck you need a feature for? We trying to get to know you,
right?
I don't need any features on a debut.
And the type of music that he makes, I like it. I can't say that the general masses will like it though.
I'm probably gonna like it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I don't. Yeah, that's why I don't pay attention to that. It also could be coming up as a rollout because he's upset. Like if everything was real and you're just like wondering why it's coming up during album time, because now his album's coming out, so now he's on a press run and people are asking him questions. Where you been at? What you doing? And he's just answering them. So that's why it gets like put out into the public like, oh, why are you saying this shit now? He's like, well, normally I'm just quiet and just playing my role, but now that I'm outside and people are asking me, I'm not lying about it.
Right.
Assuming all that's true. But yeah, it is. I don't really care about none of that. Just, if the album's good, the album's good.
So I feel.
Now I understand as an artist, you need more than just me to feel that way. But you know, do whatever you gotta do to feed your family, man.
I mean, he should be able to eat off of this, right? I think it's a solid project, bro. I can't sit up here and say that I enjoy it, but then again, this year's been kind of dry for me. You know what I mean? So I mean, it is what it is. It hasn't been the most exciting year for music for me. I don't know if it is for you.
Every year kind of blends together at this point.
Oh, here you go. He on this shit. Go ahead, hit my hand class, man. Go ahead. Let me get to poking the bear. I came across this random thought, right? But I thought it was fire. The last time I went to the movies, I went to the Barbie movie, right? Very solid movie. I told you I wasn't for kids. I didn't get a chance to get my gripe off about Barbie, right? But that movie just ain't for kids, man. It isn't. There's a lot of women empowerment speeches. My daughter looked at me like maybe about an hour into it like, yo, is this shit almost over? Because they're too grown for me, right? And so, but the lines, I like going to the Rancho Del Rey, right? And the lines there, and there's a lot of young kids there, right? The lines is crazy. For us all to get the same thing, that's kind of nuts. So I had this thought that movie theaters should operate like food courts and allow businesses to like rent spaces in there. Now, the only problem you run into, which has probably been a thought process that they had previously before, is that nobody goes to the movies Monday through Friday, right? Like in the daytime, unless you're like in a day program.
Well, nobody
like
goes to the mall Monday through Friday.
It's a good point. It's a really good point. I didn't think about that far now. But I was like, yo, like imagine like if they had like a Rubio's or, you know, I'm thinking of all the mid, like the upscale fast food places. Because to me, Rubio's is like upscale fast food. Right? You're going to pay a little more to get some quality food. Because I'm not a McDonald's guy. But if you had a McDonald's in there, that would be fire. Like different, like just different stations. Because now at that point, right, you would probably have 2 registers per one. The movie theater makes money off of those businesses renting the space to be in there because now all those collection of people are there in one spot. You get a Genghis Khan in there too.
Well, the reason I don't think it works, or the reason why I wouldn't do it if I'm the movie theater, is one, all movie theaters are different sizes.
True.
And so those restaurants are going to take up a lot of space.
And you have to have other ovens.
And 2, yeah, I'm sure you get rentals, you get rental money, and it's probably decent, it's consistent. But at the end of the day, I mean, I don't know when the last time you actually bought food from, you know, popcorn, hot dogs, some Raisinets, whatever's your bag.
That's your bag?
No,
You
I
threw
don't-
that in there because there's all kind of candy, and you went to the Raisinets
I just went. I feel like that's the classic movie theater candy that people talk about
from the 60s. Absolutely.
Right. So the markup on them shits is crazy.
Absolutely.
And if this is the only shit that is available, and you got kids and they're like, people join like just that bucket of popcorn, the markup is probably like 2,000% or some shit. I'm gonna get enough of this shit off, and it's also cheap to produce, and it's in this one location. You come up to this counter, and all this shit. Which as a retailer, you judge by how much price per square foot am I paying versus how much is this square foot of space gonna profit me by what I put here. So having all these different restaurants in a food court that's taking up space and taking screens away from the movie theater just to get some rental money does not outweigh the fact that I get this one designated area and I'm getting off 1,000 hot dogs a day, 2,000 buckets of popcorn. Everything is fucking just efficient. And then I got this candy case as, printing money basically. I'm paying all these fucking 15-year-olds $8 an hour. I'm not bringing in no fucking food court, man.
Let me factor in something for you then. Now, a lot of y'all didn't know this. I don't think I've even said this. This is the Give It Up podcast, like slowly but surely. I used to work at the movies, and I remember a guy telling me, and I'm just throwing this in here to see if you're gonna keep that same energy or if you're gonna switch up. Excuse me. I remember a guy telling me that they don't get paid for the like when you go buy your ticket, that money doesn't go to the theater. It goes back to the people that made the movie. Right? They make their money solely off of the snack bar alone. So when you go to the snack bar and you pay the 2,000% markup that you're talking about, that money goes to facility costs, paying off the staff and all those other things. That's why we pay top dollar for that. So that's why I was like, well, knowing that piece of information, right, why not make your snack bar more versatile to generate more sales?
But while there'll be versatility in there, there'll be less profit. Because now you're buying from McDonald's. And now you're sharing that money with McDonald's.
Who pays you for being there?
Yeah, but they're paying us because they know they're going to make more money in sales. Those sales can be here. With our own, we have to pay this whole rent. We got to pay the rent, all the spots for all the screens. We got to pay the staff, this and that. There's a reason the model works. Yeah. The movie is kind of like a bar, right? Or a venue. You go to a concert. The venue's paying this artist to perform, so all those tickets it's not going to the venue, or or sometimes it does depend. If they paid the artist up front, then we need to sell these tickets to get the money back. But they plan on making money on the bar. So if we bring 10,000 people to this arena, all the snack bars and all the beer and all the cocktails we sell is gonna make sense. It was a good investment to bring this person here and pay him 10,000 because we know at the end of the night, between the bar and this and that, we're gonna make 40. So that's what the movie theater's doing. Hey, you need to promote your movie theater, your movies. Let's facilitate that. We'll be the venue you put them in. We'll give you, you're gonna bring people. So the movie theater's looking at it like you're bringing people to our snack bar, right?
Yes.
So, yeah, you can have all the money that comes in for them to get inside.
Because they're going to spend more on the snack bar. We
just want the option for them to be hungry enough to come here. So we're going to take that risk. And that's why the shit costs so much while you're there, because all the ticket money is going to the movies.
If I were to throw the logic of, like, if that's the first time I ever seen you did that.
What?
You crack your back just like me now. I see it.
I've been cracking my back.
Nah, that little shoulder back, you've been going to adjusting mobility. Anyway, ain't like he gonna pay us. I just wanted to say it one more time. Anyway, if you went to the movies, right, or if you were living somewhere, right, and you brought someone else in to make your rent cheaper, wouldn't that mean you would have more on-hand cash to do whatever, or more money in the first place?
Yes.
So you sacrifice, like, like personal freedoms and stuff like that. But I feel like that logic will say like, or I can choose what percentage of the rent that person pays since I dictate it, since I own it, so that it's not much of a.
So let me show you where you're wrong in that.
All right, I'm just asking
No,
legit
right.
questions.
So I have an extra room.
To a guy that went to college with this.
I have an extra room that I could rent out for $1,000 a month.
Right. That's in context to the movie theaters,
And
right? Like
so it's like, hey, you know what? He comes in. Yeah, I had to give up some freedom, some personal space, but I'm making $1,000 a month.
Okay.
Or I can use that room for my own type of business thing. You know, for instance, we had the daycare. That daycare was bringing in $4,000 or $5,000 a month.
Can't put shit past him now. That was good. This guy's good. I got it. Good. Keep going.
Well, that was pretty much.
I don't know if anyone else is gonna.
But I'm thinking that's basically a home analogy to what the movie theater is doing.
Right. I tried to simplify it. Right.
So
I don't believe I'm right.
having,
I just wanted to stew with you and.
Well, that's what I had off the top of my head.
All right. Bro put a 25 in the first quarter right now. First game back off of injury. He's pass me the rock. He said, hey, y'all go down there, grind it out with him, right? He don't like pressure. He don't like you up in his face. Then we get back on, throw me the ball, I'm going to score. That was the toughest line I ever heard. That was if he said that in real life. Oh, no, we ain't doing that. That was hard. I ain't had shit else to watch last night too, so I just felt like it. Anyway, I'll talk about it. Hey, you ever tell your girl you're not in the mood? Or a girl?
I'm not in that part of my journey yet. Nope.
I've had to do it.
Well,
before I went out on Front Street, I wanted to make sure you was going to join me on the cross street.
No, I'll let you get your shit off, and then I'll take it a little more serious than you probably intended it.
There have been times, not with my current relationship,
no, for sure,
but in the previous one, I feel like I had dated a full blown sex addict. Right, and there were times where and this is funny because my mom right here, but I'm gonna get this one off. It's cool, but because I'm 34 now, you know what I mean, or 33. I'll be 34 this year.
I'm glad she ain't had a microphone for that one.
I know that was crazy. Nah, she's for real though. She's been saying that for years. I haven't heard her saying it in years, but she had been saying it in my teenage years. She would say that shit all the time. Keep messing around, you're gonna have to press the P. That shit scares you too when you a kid. Try an OG when he's 16.
That's why you didn't lose your virginity until you was 22?
Hey, man. I ain't throwing that number out there. We'll say that for when she ain't here. So I met, it was in the beginning, it sounded like a great idea, right?
Oh, yeah. No, I get that. It all sounds like a great idea until it happens.
Right. It's like diminishing returns. We come right back to it each time, right? It's just, hey, look, man, it's 9 p.m. 9 a.m. on 9 a.m. on a Sunday. I kind of want all my energy to watch the football game today, right? Like, hey, we were out all night. It's 12. I'm kind of tired. You know what I mean?
Maybe I'm just Kevin Gates.
What's that? You just
nothing, man.
You just get.
I think the only time I've ever been in that type of mood wasn't because of that. It was more because I was they were annoying me, and I'm just like, nah, I'm cool.
I think I agree with that. I was annoyed by it. It's the whole setup.
Not because it's like, oh, you just want it, you want it. I'm annoyed by you as a person.
You still feeding into what I'm talking about. Yeah, I was annoyed a little bit, but I think at the same time, if you make it feel like it's an appointment, or like you're trying to have like I feel like women that are that have fertility, or couples that have fertility issues, it becomes an appointment based thing, right? All right, hey, remember we got to do it like this at this time because this is the time the eggs is cooking the most, and it's like. There's no intimacy in regards to that.
That's a real thing.
Yeah.
I feel like that happens a lot.
And I felt like that was happening too soon in a relationship with someone that I had just met.
Oh,
right?
Their eggs was cooking and they was trying to get you to...
I just feel like, yo, bro, this is how bad it's gotten, right? This is how bad it got. right?
You slipped up.
I mean, this. Well, I'm not slipping up because she knows what I'm talking about. I've already told her this story, right? So she knows when this happened and who the person is. But with that being said, she meaning my wife, right? So with that being said, there were times where I would hear, "Hey." It's like 1:30, right? Well, I probably went to bed like an hour and a half ago, but I can hear the tossing and turning next to me. I'm just trying to lay still in one position.
That's a good segue. Go ahead. No, this will take me to where I'm. Yeah.
All right, there we go. So I would hear the "Hey, you up?" It'd be pitch black, but I got my eyes open just like this, like, man. You got to you know that fake sleep.
So she's the T-Rex and this is Jurassic Park.
So if you don't move, I was Little Spoon.
If you don't move.
Little Spoon. Hey, you up? A few nights, I was, but I just never responded. And finally went to sleep and then woke up like, you went to sleep early. Yeah, I did, man. It was a long day. Tired. Tired. Wanna be active today, have all my life source energy. Like for real. So, yes, I have in that perspective. I've also annoyance, like you said, right, is a big deal. But I don't want to move too far from the segue, so let's get to you.
Yeah, so I had an interesting therapy session last week. And it doesn't necessarily all play into this, it's just me as a person. She labeled me a chronic overfunctioner. Right?
It's a word for everything.
And so I'm like,
I need to break down on what that is.
Yeah. So I'm like, what does that mean? She's like, oh, you have a codependency on doing stuff for others, or just you're constantly moving, right? And then so she's like, you're not gonna blame ADD, you're not gonna blame all this other shit, like you're overfunctioner, and a lot of times those people are codependent on getting things done that benefits everybody but themselves.
That's called a white man love assist.
And so I'm over here sitting here.
I understand what you said.
I was like, man, does that sound like the worst thing in the world? She's like, no, on the surface, it sounds really noble. And, especially, you got a family. You're trying to please everybody.
But it's not good for the family.
But based on everything that's going on in your life, based on all this stuff that's happening to you, based on how you're feeling about this, and that, it's coming from this. And so you've gotten to the level where it's extremely unhealthy. And that's why you're starting to see all this stuff happen. And I'm like, damn.
Hey, but I'm also she earned her 100. I like that. I like that.
A little bit more, but yeah.
She black?
No. Unfortunately. I was trying, man.
Oh, so you went back to that new lady.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, and then so she's like, yeah, so you got to start, but I'm like, so she's like, yeah, you got to just start doing stuff for yourself.
You aren't selfish. That's crazy.
And my combat, whenever someone says like, yo, you got to go do you got to do stuff for you. Like, it's not always about the kids and the family and stuff like that. And I'm like, right. But me, I feel like it fills my tank, so to speak, when I'm doing something for somebody else.
Oh, so you be in there for 6 hours.
No, what I'm saying is, I'll get to the segue. So no, that's where the segue is going. But it's like, yeah. So if whether I'm being asked to or not, so if I see something like, all right, let me take care of this, let me take this off their plate, let me do this, and that, and then it brings me joy if I see joy in their eyes, right? They're like, yeah, I get that. But that's not all you need, and that's why you're so unhealthy right now.
What do you mean?
Because when someone says you got to do stuff for you, and I go, yo, doing stuff for others makes me feel good. They're like, yeah, but that's not all there is to it, and that's your biggest problem, and that's why you're at where you're at. Yeah. And I'm like, fuck.
All he telling me is he clock in.
Right. Okay, so now segue into what we talking about.
I know, but you don't have to rush to get there. I'm getting my jumps on, but you be clocking in.
I mean, so on any given night, throughout any relationship or just situationship I've ever had,
it's game 7.
I mean, for the most part, it's never like, unless it's one of those like, hey, this is a it's a even a predetermined quickie. I'd be trying to get like a few extra
A little sauce in.
like it said 2-minute warning, but my 2-minute drill. You know,
we've been running plays out of bounds.
but you know the 2-minute drill with timeouts is like 8 minutes.
That's what I'm saying. And you got to run routes out of bounds and every spikes.
So
spikes, timeouts, running out of
you
bounds.
got the TV timeouts. You got the injury timeout. All that shit, right?
You got the whole Monty going on
because
right
I'm
there.
like, yeah. So I guess you could say everything is a game 7. Now, is it always performance like game? You know, people be having rough game 7. Sometimes game 7, you're just like,
You got flu games in
But
there.
okay,
so
let me put it to this way: the last Kobe championship against the Celtics went down to a game 7.
2012.
He did not.
11?
He did not shoot very well, right?
Or was it 10?
I think he had under 20 points. He did not shoot well.
No,
but he had like 18 rebounds.
Absolutely.
So that's what I'm saying. So if I'm struggling, I'm gonna make it up in these other ways,
right?
To where it's like. And so yeah, so in the middle of the night,
he does all the fundamentals.
I'm gonna help the team, whether it's hustle plays, whether it's if I gotta take a charge, if I gotta give a hard foul, if I gotta use all my fouls up.
Oh shit, I'm fucking weak, man.
Yeah, so that probably goes into my chronic over functioning and yeah, so
that's funny. Pull the link up, man. It's the last one, dude. That's funny as hell, bro. Bro said, "Hey, you know, I thought about this was such a comedic gold that what if I never hit the record button?" I was like, I would have been sick. Go ahead and turn that up real quick. I want to know if you agree with him, man.
Oh,
that ain't it.
It didn't stay on the reel.
You can go back in there.
As your husband or your man, why would I ask for sex or ask to be cooked food or ask for affection or ask anything when the dog ain't asked for a motherfucking thing? But the dog get groomed, the dog get fed, the dog get affection. Now unless the dog talking when I leave this motherfucker, dog ain't asked you for shit. So why would me as your husband or your man have to ask for anything that I need? I'm not asking for shit. If you know what that dog needs and that dog ain't asked you for a motherfucking thing, but you don't know what I need and I have to ask, I'll take care of it myself. And don't get mad when I take care of it my goddamn self.
Shit. What do you think, man? Is he right or wrong?
I mean,
now I'm gonna get off some truths. Now, if you want me to live on the ledge first, that's fine.
He's not wrong. I think there's certain contexts and scenarios where it's like, yeah, when it comes to just communication and people being, you know, complacent in the relationship or people growing and maybe needing different things and that not being communicated. But on a surface level, he appears to be correct.
Do you know what your needs are? Like, have you sat
Apparently
down?
not. Apparently, I got a few more things I need to figure out.
So you're saying that like you go throughout the whole day feeling as if you're like from Nazareth, right? Like
No,
you just have to give.
No.
Like what are your needs
No,
to
what
like
I'm saying
fill your
is
cup though?
sometimes you either don't know or needs are, I would think as a person, are constantly evolving in one way, shape, or form. Some things may remain consistent, but some things may grow or introduce.
You Segway Papi today because we are going to get into that, but because things do change, right? Like what I need now today is different from what I needed at 21, 15, 5 or whatever. So you're absolutely right. But my current needs, I haven't been self-aware of them, but I feel like if I thought hard enough in about 7 seconds, I can come up with 2 or 3 off the top. One, I definitely need some time for myself, right? Every day, right? Just given the workload that I have. And I get that from my wife, right? For an hour and a half, 2 hours where I'm able to go to the gym after work, right? Now, that changes when sports come up and everything else right now. But when the kids are on break, I'm on break too. So I'm back to my regularly scheduled programming prior to all that. I'm not a morning person, right? I wish I can get up like my dad at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning and go work out. But my body just don't be functioning like that. Like it's just not gonna happen. I think I would find myself more hurt and tired throughout the day than later on. Second, I have to be able to have something to get my male machismo off, right? that's golf, right? Now y'all think like I like golf, but I liked golf so much because I used to lose all the time. So when I got better, the justification of beating people out of nowhere, right? They don't know what type of work I've been putting in or knowledge I've been trying to gain to understand the sport, right? Just know that I whooped your ass, right? And I'm not even a guy that rubs shit into people's face, right? Like I like to win and not say anything. That's me. I feel them on that. Like, hey, you know why I'm here? I didn't come here to waste my time. You know, Dame Lillard stance. So with that being said, right, I feel that some women have a hard time on meeting the outside needs of what is perceived to be the roles between men and women, right? My wife is really good at cooking, keeping the house clean and stuff like that, even helps out with my laundry. I am I'm getting my shit off. Don't worry. I'm going to explain everything. She's really good at those things, right? And I'm not saying that she's bad at anything else. It's just that I have to go out and do certain things if she does not pick up on those on those needs, like between us, our household, or whatever the case may be. So I understand what my man is saying, and even if I communicate that to her or any other woman I've ever dealt with, right? Sometimes not every single need that I may have that arises, they're going to be able to meet that. So I got to go get it on my own. So I agree with him, but at the same time, it's like, bro, you got to go out there and get it on your own sometimes. Not everyone's going to do something for you.
Well, as I'm saying, he was speaking on a very surface level. He was talking about the four pillars of the basic man, according to Dave Chappelle. Feed me, fuck me, tickle my balls, and don't talk so much. Right? The basic need.
Oh, shit. That's what she did.
If you break it down to a basic Neanderthal level, sure. But yeah, there's also like, the emotionally intelligent man is going to think a little deeper. Like, there's a few other things I need. Because in general, I would think at a very basic level, I need a level of peace. Right? Outside of anything else, I need a level of peace. And that can mean a bunch of different things. Whether it's you just being like, not complaining about any and every little thing that can be complained about.
Allow you to watch the Laker game for 2 hours?
That, or just like...
Trying to personalize.
Or just kind of knowing... especially when you walk into a situation where you got kids that are our age where they're just turned up all the time and it's a thing. Sometimes you got to look at your partner and you can see it in their body language. Maybe nothing you did, but you're just like, they ain't got it. They ain't got it in them today. I need to step up. They might be on like a 80. I'm at like a 95. So let me take over this because that's going to help everybody overall. And that's just more you knowing your partner, but at the same time, that also can be communicated. So it's not always the other person's fault for not knowing what you need. Now, maybe the basics of what a man needs or what a woman needs or stuff that you guys have already talked about that haven't changed. Like if she were like, hey, I need this, and this from you, and you always know that's the case, then yeah, you should be doing your best to try to fulfill that because this is what you signed up for.
But is there a lot of things that you go out and do on your own because you just know like, hey, it's an unmet need? Subconsciously or consciously?
I mean, I would say...
I know.
How do I want...
That's a rough question. I could go first.
Well, one, I think I am pretty basic. At least, I mean, this
man always retort to this.
This might be something that my therapist wants to talk about too.
Hold up. You turned it into that Ari Spears thing I sent where he started turning into a slave when he was asking the questions. I'll help out. I got a boy, right? He's been with his significant other for some time. right? They have a child together. They live together, right? And in that, what my man says is that she gives very terrible gifts. So when it's her birthday, Lululemon, something nice, spending $300-400, you know, as is, like on holidays and birthdays and shit. So when it comes to his turn, it's, well, what do you want? You know, is there anything that you want? There's no thought process. If you gonna ask me that, his logic is, if you gonna ask me that, I might as well go get it myself. Because the point of it is that, you know, you're supposed to go out and know who I am, and that's the allure
I don't like
of it.
that.
Hold on, I'm gonna finish it, right? So he'll say, hey, I want X, Y, and Z, right? In the past, I think she bought him like an Apple Watch, right? So a few years later, Apple Watch is getting a little old. You know, when I say a few, 4 years go by, Apple Watch get a little old, is losing its pizzazz. You know, you got to re-up. And, you know, he's like, look, man, I could have got, you know, X, Y, and Z. I went out and did all these extravagant things for your birthday. But when it comes to mine, right, I'm kind of in the dark. He has a kid now, right? So it means that he's not hanging out with his boys like he used to. You know what I mean? Second to that, kid is young, so he really not outside, right? So, and I'm trying to put you in that framework, that mind frame, because the first year from month 9 of the pregnancy to the child turns 1, life as you know it is completely different, right? Because he said something to me that day where I was like, the other day where I was like, you know what? I get it. He's like, look, for a while I felt I was like a little bit depressed. And I was like, I remember that feeling, because it's like you're limited. If you go somewhere, you got to take a change of clothes, bring a backpack with you. You know, they need to be carried. They need to be fed. Like, you don't enjoy things. Look at your mind.
No, we can bring this to a postpartum for men, too, and I don't know if the women are going to like that.
That's cool. This is an all-male podcast that with some women intervention sometimes. But I am going to intervene when it's my turn. But what I'm saying is, right, is that when it came down to that, he said, you know what? Don't buy me nothing no more, right? I'll go ahead, whatever it is, if I want it, I'll either secure it before my birthday or whatever, or I'll just go get it myself, right? So this last birthday that just passed, he planned the whole day, right? She's like, what do you want to do? Look, I gave up faith on you giving me something cool a while back. So I planned this, and this for the day. I got my family doing this, and this with us, or whatever, and you just be along for the ride, right? Now, I was sitting there thinking, I was like, damn, if I was her, I'd be sick, right? Like, I'd try to do better. But after so many times of this, right, and him having those unmet needs, but she had a dog. And she used to take care of that dog like no other. So I get what he's saying too, though.
I get what he's saying, but it's a little deeper than that.
Let's hear it.
One, it's like, okay, what does that say about him and his ability to communicate his needs to her? Because he's doing what we accuse women of doing all the time. Hey, I'm not a fucking mind reader. Now, maybe he has communicated it and she just don't get it, or she's not effective at executing it. Maybe. But at the end of the day, something like this, something is, well, at least to me, because if giving gifts is his love language, then I'm not going to shit on that. That's literally the last on my list. So for something, this appears more surface level to me because it's not my love language. I don't give a shit about gifts. So when she comes to me and says, I don't know what the fuck to buy you. My mom, throughout my life, I don't know what to get you. And it's like, you're so hard to shop for. One, because you either go out and get what you want, or two, you don't want nothing. And it's like, exactly. So just give me what, so that turned into Christmas, I get an Amazon gift card. Cool. I go get whatever I need. Or that turned into like, oh, let me just build this experience and hopefully, because like I said, I don't need much. I don't require much. So something like that is, when you deal with people like me, it might be harder to feel like, what the fuck does he need? Because it appears he don't need anything. So that's why you have to communicate clearly. Hey, it might not seem like this is a need, but this is what I need. I need the ability for you to let me take the reins and just plan my whole birthday out so it can go on. And then you just do this. You just play this part, and that's all you got to do.
And some people are like that. Like, I'm like that, huh?
How is your dad in gifts? Now think about it. See, the table has turned.
I'm not that bad at it. I go and do
I'm
things.
talking about the dude and the woman you're talking about.
Yeah.
Your dad ain't great on gifts. Like, my past birthday. You and my past birthday.
You got an Apple Watch.
No, that was for Mother's Day.
Oh shit, that's because y'all got multiple days though too.
No, so
Her
what
birthday is like a few. I always fuck this one up, but it's within a month of Mother's Day.
Same day, a month of Mother's
That's
Day.
what I'm saying. It's within the same.
My birthday's May 20th.
That's like my birthday being like the 20th of December, and then like, which it is, right? And then Christmas coming 5 days. It's like, yo, it's a double whammy for my pockets.
That's what we changed it, said only anniversaries. Then he changed it back. No, let's do birthday. He ain't getting shit for his birthday.
You see that? But that's the pettiness I'm talking about.
No,
Tit for tat.
he didn't give me a card. Not even a damn card.
All right, man, you giving it up too much. Relax. Relax. But I'm
Okay,
saying,
but did you also relay this information after the fact?
No, I told him right then and there.
All right, well, there you go.
yeah, they've been married for years though.
There you go.
Right then,
Yeah.
you said, no,
We'll see how he responds.
You let him know
It's this
right
month.
then and there.
It's this
If
month.
you don't like nothing, you let him know right then and there. Don't let it feast.
But
Well,
he
that-
told her that.
that is my point.
It was a running conversation for years. It wasn't something that just happened one time. You know what I mean? And I think that knowing someone's interests make it a lot easier, right? Me personally, just give me $100 gift card. I'll do whatever with it, right? I would prefer that, right? A free $100 added to my name or whatever gets me excited. $50, $25. Because you know what I do? If you give me $25, I look at it as something that's already advertised as $25 off. Oh shit, I got an extra $25 to throw on it. So now it's $50 off, right? But I don't even think he was like it wasn't even that, bro. It was just, so what do you want? So to me, that screams like lack of investment. When if I see you somewhere else being being real thoughtful for somebody else. That's all I'm saying, right? And I think what he's also speaking to, like this gentleman that we're talking about that got us on this whole subject line in the first place, I think he's speaking to a younger generation or a generation that just don't care to cater to men anymore, and that's where we're having an issue.
Why should we cater to
But I'm just saying, it's a social norm. I'm not saying that it's okay. Like I don't want my wife to cater for me. She doesn't. Matter of fact, all the schematic things that and she might get mad by this, right? But all the schematic things in the household, I tell her I could do these things. I just don't because I know it means something to you to be able to do them. Like you like washing clothes on Fridays and Saturdays. I will wash my clothes on Sunday and put them away Sunday
I feel like
night.
you need to deliver this a little different.
Why?
I get what you're saying.
What I'm saying, no, same thing. Like, okay, hold up.
It's not the-
You're right. So let me make sure I deliver it the same way. In the same fashion that my wife owns her own business and can go out and buy her own shit, like that is the same thing, right? Before, like, or be able to do something as simple as like go hiking the other day, right? She did that. That was out of her norm, right? She doesn't normally go during the week, right? And she went. She needed that time for herself. I'm okay with that. Like, go get it. I don't have to tell you what you need or whatever. She texted me and said, "Hey, look. 1, I ain't home. 2, I'm on top of a mountain. 3, I put all of that together and was like, yo, all right, my daughter is with my mom. I got to go get something to eat. I got to get her ready and stuff like that. Told her to put her pajamas on, right? Get her all ready for bed or whatever. Last thing she going to need to do is brush her teeth, right? So that's us not even communicating, and I just know what my wife needs, right? That's based off of what this man is saying. Now, if there were more days like that, right, you don't have to tell me to do these things. If there were more days like that, I would have no problem. But that's something that she enjoys doing. Now, if she don't like it, all right, trash can situation. We brought that up here, right? I'll get up and take the trash can 20 minutes before they come out. It's just a natural habit that I've had since a kid, right? I've never missed a week. As soon as they come out there, guess what? Yo, you could be out there. If I hear that noise, I'm running out there. She don't like living like that. It's her personal choice for her to want to do it like a few hours before, because I'm not gonna do it when she wants me to do it.
That's what I mean. I know what you meant.
Yeah.
It just might have came off a little differently. I know what you meant is like, hey, I can do all these things, but because you're so passionate about the way you do it, I'm gonna let you rock.
That's because she like doing it.
I'm letting you know that's how I heard it. but it also came off as like, hey, you know what?
Like what you do
I
is
can
not
do all
important.
these things for you, but you just love doing fucking chores so much that I just let you
It's
do
not
it.
just chores though. Okay, so you wanted me to elaborate.
No, I was trying to help you out. I know exactly what you meant. You ain't got to tell me
Oh, okay.
anything further.
Because there's household chores that I do that I know she won't touch. Like spraying for bugs. You know what I mean? She's not going to do that. You know, lifting heavy ass rocks and shit like that. She's not going to do that. I'm not going to even ask her of that. Right? I'm just going to say, hey, look, I want to do some changes to the house. Are you okay with this? The expectation isn't that she's going to go lift a 50-pound bag of sand. You know what I mean? So let me make sure I'm fair in that regard. So you're right. Good save. Thank you. Yeah. I just brought up something natural that happens all the time that in regards to me. All right, you ready to get off this?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even need to get to my other bag. I'd rather switch it up. Read them in wheat. My ex-wife and I divorced 12 years ago. She has since remarried, and her new husband has a daughter who is 4 years older than our son, and she's in college. She was going to college and lied to them about dropping out. In reality, she dropped out the first semester because she was so overwhelmed. They were sending her money every month so long as she was in school, but when they found out she dropped out, they stopped sending her money. The plan was for her to need money so bad that she would go back to school and they would continue to pay for things while this was occurring. She moved to the same city as me and my son live in. However, my ex-wife and her father live an hour and a half away. My son gave me a call and asked me if I can help her out, as they have known each other for some time, and I ended up allowing her to live with me, and now the father and my ex-wife are so pissed with me. Am I in the wrong? So, I love this one, right? Don't say nothing, because I know what I got to do here. It's my turn. Hand me the rock. I got you, okay? You and Ashley are working, with G. He's 18 years old, 19 years old. Says he's going to college, living on his own. You guys are helping him, pay for his tuition, his books, and his food and stuff like that. Something happens. You cut the funding off, right? Doesn't work a job yet, or he does work a job, but it's only enough to cover his foods and stuff. He calls Uncle Carl. Uncle Carl allows him to live, right? Hey, man, it's cool, bro. I know your dad ain't taking care of you the way you need him to. That's the type of situation that I bring it up, right?
It's not.
It's close to it.
I don't think so.
It's other than we just never had a gay relationship together.
Nah, because even if I felt that strongly about it, ain't no way she about to leave G high and dry like that.
I know. I get that piece. Neither were they, though. Like, I think they had given her enough money for her to live off of for some time, but wanted things to get bad enough for her to ask for help for her to learn the lesson.
I think what makes this different is like it wasn't her, like the mom in the house wasn't her natural mother, so she kind of had to lean towards what dad wanted to do, and he was
true.
like, and he's like, nah. What I took it as is the dad or the person who wrote into the situation, if I was them, it's like, all right, I know this will piss my ex-wife off and her new dude.
Like I'm providing.
And maybe this is, 12 to 15 years later, but I still got a little bit of petty in me.
Still got the juice.
Let me just win a little battle real quick. But
that has nothing to do with you, right? So, like, you are wrong for that, dog. But then again, she's an adult. She's like 19, maybe 20. They never said the age, but she's like 19, 20. What'd you say?
She's not an adult.
Legally, yes, she is.
Legally,
She can sign up for a credit card. She can rent a vehicle. She is an adult. She don't need a signature.
she's an adult. Mind-wise, she's not.
Oh, absolutely not for her to ask
yeah,
help.
but I guess
I see a boy struggle. I'll let a boy struggle longer than I'll let a girl struggle. I ain't gonna
That's
let
fucked up.
no. Wait, I'm just saying I'm gonna just need you to be okay with other double standards. Then that's all. I'm okay with what you're saying. But I think the dude who's writing this, he's going off the strength of his son. My son asked me for a favor.
Right.
That's why I'm doing this.
Which they share the same mom. I mean, the mom is his ex-wife.
Yes.
Right.
That ain't got nothing to do with me. She's not my wife no more.
But you see, but these are blended family issues that will be coming up in our next
100%.
generation, right? Like even I look at it like that's like if me and Adele broke up and then she found someone new, but I still have a say so. Like I'm still trying to have a say so or communication with Chris, right? Chris would obviously meet like whoever that new dude's kids and stuff like that would be, and then I would help. Like that's a real life situation.
Chris be hella confused by that point.
Oh hell yeah! And you know that equation dude at the back, yo, he be there trying to do the math. Like, yo, now that's my mom's ex-husband, but that was my ex-dad.
Dad, babe, mister.
Yeah, dad.
Uncle.
But it's a real thing.
Pastor.
Miss Parker, let me talk to you about the Lord.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, is it worth? Yeah, they're gonna get pissed off at me, but at the end of the day, it is sort of a child in a rough spot. We really gonna fuck up her whole life because she's stubborn. She's a child. She's gonna be stubborn. She ain't trying to turn home. They're not seeing eye to eye, but shit, she hungry. It's fucking cold outside.
My question would be to her though, the little girl is like, yo, what are your ambitions in life? This was part of the thing that I had, but
it could be a moral hazard situation that we talked about a couple weeks ago, where like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna let you rock with me for a little bit, and you know, once you get sort of settled in, or it seems like you settling in, I'm gonna need you to tell me what you're trying to do, because you ain't just about to be here just to be here.
Oh yeah.
Otherwise, take your ass back to school. You had a good situation there. Maybe you don't realize it yet, and I'm all for it. Like, if you don't want to be in school and this is what you want to do, cool. But you need to tell me something.
You know what? And people are smart as hell too, because when you look at the schematics of things, right? He was her last resort. Everyone else that she probably has an aunt, an uncle, a grandmother, all those people were all in cahoots. So matter of fact, now that I think about it, my man is wrong. Because you provided an out if the whole family was on the same page, because for her to go to you means that everyone else had told her no, or she didn't have anywhere else to turn.
For sure, but is it wrong if I don't give, like, I'm not part of that family? I don't give two shits about what that family thinks. What if that family was on some, maybe not this issue, take it maybe another political issue or a moral issue that you have a strong principle with. What if she needed an abortion, right? The whole family said, you ain't getting no $250 for me, fuck all that. But you believe really, really strongly in pro-choice, and she came to you in that capacity and was like, I really need help. What are you going to do? And
now we weigh in life circumstances.
But that's the same thing. I know, it's the same thing.
It's the same scenario, but there's a little bit more
that family ain't got
on there.
shit to do with me other than my son is under that roof. My son, the only person I care about that's in that part of the family, asked me to do a favor, and I'm able to do that off the strength of his ask.
And the only reason why he's doing this is because it is his son.
Exactly.
Anywhere.
But that's the only reason I need. It's the only reason I need.
So you cool with G living with me?
I didn't say that. I have not kicked G out yet.
Nah, that's not gonna happen, man. We ain't gonna speak shit into existence. This girl wasn't kicked out. She just went to school in the same city as. What do you even call him?
No, I would have been
brother's
like, all right,
dad. That's
I would have just needed a timeline. All right, G, you dropped out here. All right, you had 3 semesters of payments. Just run me that shit back, and you good to go. Whatever you need to
make
do.
it at ease. I mean, yeah, that's a tough situation to be in, but it's something that will be more common as we continue to get older and people like right now.
To your kids now, what you want them to do.
Out of all I got.
Things I told you as a kid, it has happened, except for one thing.
Nah, you can tell kids to go to school from a young age. It don't mean they're gonna do it when they get there.
There's only one other dude that I could think of now that I thought about it that I'm really close with that like has kids. I mean, has a wife or a fiance or girlfriend that already has kids. Like I don't think we're fully there on that tide change, but it's like starting to get there. I think by the time we hit 40, I'm gonna start seeing a lot more men taking care of kids that ain't like theirs. I'm not.
Well, yeah, because I think with divorce rates being high, with people waiting longer to settle down, like if you go into a dating pool and you're over 25, you're likely to probably run into a girl, assuming you want to stay in that age bracket, that probably has a kid already.
I didn't know too many guys that were dating girls at 25 with kids, though. I mean, kids
I'm
already.
saying, like,
Now you're saying.
now if you were to start over and you had to jump back in the dating pool and you only were going to go so young, that's probably going to be a prerequisite that you're going to have to be okay with.
Yeah, because the other flip side is get you a young chick or whatever that
Because I
just
used
want
to,
to be.
yeah, this dude was like, "Yo, I need a girl that ain't got no kids," and I'm like, "That's cool." But as we age, that's gonna get a little more and more tough. And as long as you cool with being single and you feel that strongly where you need to be the first, then cool, more power to you.
Real man talk. Like I always tell this to my wife. Like I was like, look, if we, and I asked her the same thing, so I'll make sure y'all, you know me, I'm random question guy, scenario dude. I was like if in her mind she thinks I would always go to someone younger, right? We talked about that a little bit on the pod, right? But I'd actually prefer somebody who had kids in their own situation too now, because I be going like, yo, if her and I broke up, the only thing changes is like the alone time and the teamwork, right? Big deal, right? It's a very big deal. When I say alone time, I mean between her and I, right? But the big deal. But at the same token, I still have commitments and stuff like that to my kid, you know, to my child at least, right? That I have to fulfill. So I'm not going to have the same amount of time. My life is completely different from when it was when I was a single man. My children and my wife changed my life circumstances. You get rid of one of them, there's still big things on the table where I got commitments that I got to make it to. Birthday parties, school events, back to school, sports, all kinds of shit.
It makes your life inefficient. So now instead of doing all that under one household, now you split the time.
Right.
So you still got to get all the shit done with the kids. You still got to communicate with her, and you still got obligations, but now you're not under one roof. So now you might have more commute time. You might have more time taken away to get things done that used to take this amount of time, but because you got to come from over here or you got to do all this other stuff first, it takes more and more time. And that's less and less time you have to move on to be in a new situation.
And if that new situation presents as a 27, 28-year-old, you know, chick with no kids, please believe that within 5 years she's gonna want kids of her own too. If that's the case, right? If you run into one that, you know, wouldn't mind having a family, at some point she's gonna be like, "Hey, I want something that's from me." And right now, where I'm at in my life, I don't want any more newborns. I don't want to start all over. It's hard enough right now, like teaching things, right? And saying things 9 times. I don't want to restart that process all over again. I'm sorry. Like, do you want any more kids?
I seen half of the group chat then went and got snipped. Didn't even tell me. I didn't know this was like a pact that we had. We could all did this in the same week.
Yeah, man, I would have been fine with it. I'm good. I don't want any more kids. Right, my mom helps out enough as it is. So, like, who am I to sit here and get another one? But hey, mom, can you help with? No, I can't do it. Right, like it's just too demanding. But it is what it is. Anything else we got?
Imagine starting over and not having that.
So I got a homie. I ain't talked to him in years, but I'm just gonna call him my homie. Right, his dad is like 59.
I like where this is going.
He got a newborn. I said, God damn. You know who he is too. You know exactly who he is. I'm talking to you.
Oh, I know who he is?
Yeah, let me make this easy. They used to live, you know where Soapy, where that car wash is over there in Spring Valley? Yes. And you remember, his dad is black and the mom is Filipino.
Oh, shit.
You know who I'm talking about now, huh? Yeah. Well, he got a new girlfriend, so she was younger. So I saw the photo of him holding her. I was like, God damn. Yo, there's another dude who I work with. Well, we don't work together, but he works like at one of these the places associated with my building, or with my job. He's 75 years old and he just had a newborn. And I was like, damn, he ain't gonna never retire.
Shout out to Robert De Niro.
Yeah. But Robert De Niro got help money. Where he at, it's about $29 an hour. It's like shit.
Yeah, but see, there's different things. When people talk about money, that's one thing. Like, yeah, that'll help in, raising the child.
I don't think he got the energy.
But that's what I'm saying. There's so much more than just like, oh, I got money to hire help. I got money, so they ain't never gonna want for nothing. That's not all there is to it. Like, yeah, the energy, the time is the more important thing.
Absolutely.
Because kids aren't going to know that they're poor until they know. They're not going to know they're poor until they go outside and they realize, oh,
this kid is able to get this.
They're going to be perfectly fine.
I be thinking about that, like when our, it's not like we rich or nothing like that, but there's a lot of like low income families in our neighborhood. So I'm like, man, I don't want my kids to be the target. Like they always got nice things on and shit, you know. Yeah, your kids wear nice things too, but
no, but we are the low income family in our neighborhood.
Perceivably so, right? But like when they see them wearing Jordans and stuff like that, like,
well, no, I mean, I was like, man, we could have bought so much time because these kids are happy without it, and now it's like, yeah, whatever.
I don't think this generation cares about clothes as much as we did, though. Like the shit that we asked for was ridiculous, OD expensive. Like I feel like cause like yo, you buy these kids some clothes and shit, they don't give a damn about none of that until they do. But I feel like the clothing that kids wear now, it's a lot more make your own shit. You know what I mean? Like advertise.
That's how kids are in general. Kids don't care about clothes because they don't know the societal stigmas of what they're wearing until they become more in the know.
Which is why you would never use your debit card to buy some ones.
I don't use debit card for shit, but yeah, no, I won't.
In general. I feel you. I don't buy that. We buy Vans, and Vans is just as cool, dog. I wore those in high school my damn self. Vans and Puma is my new shit. So I wear a lot of Puma everything. And they cheap. So all right, hit my hand claps. I know that face. Shows to watch. I watched so Winning Time is back. Winning Time, if you guys can't remember, and there's something that I wanted to get off in regards to this, I saved it. Me and him talked about it a little bit off mic. But Winning Time is the Lakers loosely, look into like what life was like with Dr. Buss and the team, Magic and Kareem, when they became Showtime Lakers.
I don't think it's that loosely though.
I told you, like some of the facts.
I mean, you have to say loosely, but I think it's a little more accurate than maybe a lot of other shows are.
I have to say loosely too, because like when they go into like Dr. Buss's home and try to show like the division between the siblings. Like Jeannie, no.
I mean, we see that.
I know you. Yes, but the conversations that they're having per se, we know they didn't get from Jeannie, the Buss, children, or Dr. Buss, because he's not even with us anymore. So that's why I say loosely.
This is all based off a book that was written before. This is based off a book.
Whose book?
I forgot who exactly wrote it, but I remember when they were promoting it, they're like, "Yo, we got a bunch of people to really give it up." Like, so it's not. Obviously, it's loosely, and it is TV, so there's going to be a little bit of dramatization, but
okay, you agree to what I said.
It's a little more accurate than a lot of other loosely based things.
Loosely doesn't mean that it isn't accurate, though, right? Like there's certain things. So my point is, right, in this season of Winning Time, so we'll get into what you're talking about. In this season of Winning Time, they said something, and I thought about it where, in regards to all sports, Dr. Buss fucked everything up. Free agency, right? Because what they were talking about in free agency at the time, right? Guys were making $35,000 a year and stuff like that. You signed your contract, you perform your contract. That's the end of it. So they introduced free agency in the NBA in 1982 or 81 or something like that. So what he thought of was, hey, look, I like the group of guys that we have here right now. We have a few guys under contract or whatever that won't be under contract next year when this free agency thing kicks off. Go ahead and add an extra zero to what we're getting. And yo, the way, what's my guy's name? Jerry West was giving it up. He's like, you know how much I made as a player? He's like, $800,000 over my whole career. You want to give this man $350,000 for one contract? And Dr. Buss was like, I want to buy loyalty. Right? That's what it, I'm going to give you this money. It's not what you asked for, but I'm going to give it to you because you earned it. You gave us the championship. Let me buy your loyalty. And I said, yo, that one single event jacked up free agency across all sports, in which it is like morphed into something completely different now.
Well, that's why they had to introduce rules like the cap.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Because
when does the salary cap come in, you know?
I don't know.
Not too long after.
But see, episode 1 touches on those $350,000 salaries or whatever, but I'm assuming they're going to touch on this eventually, probably soon. The big one that kind of does this whole thing is they're going to end up giving Magic Johnson $1 million a year for 25 years. It's a lifetime. They call it a lifetime contract.
Did they still pay him after he retired?
Yes. He signed a contract. Now think about it this way.
He brought you 5 NBA championships.
Think about what Magic Johnson did, not just for the NBA, but just the Lakers organization. They got off hella cheap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They turned the Lakers, and now, I mean, by the time he left, it wasn't that, but the Lakers now are worth like $5-6 billion.
What were they worth at that time?
He bought it for.
Well, you got to add the cost of inflation.
No, in episode 1, they talk about he bought it for what is it, like $500 million or whatever? No, not even that. 50 million, something
But
like
at
that.
the rate of inflation, how much did he really come up? Still a lot, huh?
Oh, I mean,
Well, then also,
$1 million in 1984 or whatever is. But at the same time, what he did, like right now, paying $350,000 for James Worthy or whatever. At that time, you'd be like, all right, he didn't outperform it that much, but he's thinking as a visionary long term, and that's what the Magic contract did. Yeah, maybe that $25 million over 25 years is really $50 million. But think about how much money Magic has brought to the Los Angeles Lakers.
I get it.
So that's what he was doing.
But he was also an innovator because that was also the first time, right? Not to step on you, right? But I'm adding to you. He added other events at the Forum.
Well, yeah, he made it entertainment, not just because let's think about it this way. When Magic and Bird come into the NBA, there's no such thing as a live broadcast. Everything's on tape delay.
One game a week.
Including the finals.
One game a week.
The finals are on tape delay.
That was another thing he said. Like, yo, we need to, he put that little ESPN pamphlet down. Was
And
like, look, we need to broadcast
That's
sports.
why everybody was so up in arms. Like, how are you going to add an extra zero when we can barely pay for what we got? Like, we're still... But he's like, nah, let me just do this now and just let the shit catch up. Because... Magic Johnson saved the NBA. The NBA was on its way to fold. The Magic Bird rivalry, as perfect timing as it was, because one, they're both great players, and you like to see good rivalries.
I feel like,
and then when you add the racism aspect into it,
like
the black and white stuff, it made it that much more. Because remember, like I said, people thrive on negativity. Yeah, I want to go. Yes, I would love to go to this game and pay extra to go hate on Magic Johnson if I'm from Boston. And all this other shit, right?
Bear with me on my next one, but go ahead, keep going.
And then if it wasn't for them doing that led to the TV deals and stuff like that, where Jordan come in the 90s and take that shit to the next level. And then to where the money is where it is today.
You know
where these bums, like Jerry West was mad at this dude making $350. Meanwhile, motherfucking some dude on on the sixth man of the year is probably making like $30 million a year.
Oh, I thought you talked about back then. Back then,
I'm saying like the money is ridiculous.
But you know what that reminds me of, and maybe you agree, maybe you won't. But I feel like after the Colin Kaepernick kneeling situation, the NFL was on its way down. Ratings were down and everything else, right? And maybe they are still comparably down, but they're on the rise again. Magic Johnson of football, like as we know it, right? Aside from all the extra shit, because it's hard to top all the other things going on, is Patrick Mahomes. And as soon as Tom Brady retired, they found another, or we knew, got a sniff that he was going to retire. The new rivalry is him versus Josh Allen.
No.
Yes, it is.
No.
It's
No.
the same thing.
No,
Bro
it's not.
Bro's doing a documentary after winning 2 Super Bowls already on Netflix that people are watching.
The same documentary had Marcus Mariota on.
I know that, but I'm just saying though, they do that for a reason though, right? They did that. They added the other ones, but if it was just a they did a doc on Johnny Manziel, dog.
Damn.
On Johnny Manziel
About his story. About his
I
story,
get
not
it.
because he's a good football player.
But I'm not saying he is a good football player. What I'm saying is that in Patrick Mahomes' situation, right, you have a black man versus another white. They don't pit him against anyone else. But
They pit him against Joe Burrow.
They pit him against other whites and great whites, right? That's it. They don't pit him
They
against
pit
anyone
him
else.
against good AFC quarterbacks. The two that are at the top just happen to be white.
Which in my mind, I think to be complete
Mind you,
utter
he's half of
bullshit
that.
based on the stats, because not even on some fanhood shit.
To-
but you know that I'm not gonna even say his name, but my other guy is, in my opinion, better than both. The only thing
That's
that they've
fine.
done is a playoff game or
Another
two.
AFC quarterback that would be a rivalry if you would beat them every once in a while, because that would be the more rivalry
do beat
because you
them.
guys are in the same fucking.
We split the series with them the last 2
see,
years, I believe.
But with the documentary talk about thing, that Joe Burrow is the only person to ever beat him 3 straight times to do this and that. Maybe y'all got one off every now and then, but no, he owns y'all. He owns that division, so that's why it's not a real rivalry.
All right, man.
Anyway.
We see him twice a year. It's
The only
easy to
reason
game
these other
plan for
people
that.
are exactly the only reason these other quarterbacks are rivalries is because they see them later in the season and those are bigger games.
But that's the same thing with like Jordan and Magic. When you look,
It
I
doesn't
mean
matter.
not Jordan and Magic, with Magic
This is
and,
why it doesn't
and
matter.
Larry Bird. They're in 2 different conferences. The only time that they're really going to meet is probably Christmas time or whenever that 1 or 2 times in the schedule. And then the next time you get to play them, and Magic got hurt.
No, because you say you play these people 2 times a year. They play the Celtics 2 times a year no matter what because there's more games.
But
It just means more if you see
scheduling
them
is
in a
different, though.
championship. Here's the bottom line is, ain't nothing you about to say right now that's going to put the Magic Johnson NBA
I
situation.
said it's comparable. I didn't
No,
say it's the
it's
same
not.
thing. Why not?
It's not.
You just said that Magic Johnson
Magic
saved
Johnson
the NBA.
saved a failing league. The NFL is the most popular league in the world.
But that was declining in ratings during fucking Trump's presidency
at
and
the-
all the
okay,
rhetoric that was going
wherever
on
it was,
too. And
wherever
you know
those
that.
ratings were, say those ratings they weren't from where they were. The Kaepernick ratings, still the most popular league in the world.
I get that.
But you can't call it.
I can't call it
All
the
right,
same.
man.
I can't call it the same because yes, first of all, given the NBA circumstances, like I said earlier, right? I said it in passing. They were only playing 1 game a week on TV, right? It's not going to be the same. There was no big ass sport broadcasting network telling you who was winning in Wimbledon back in '76, right? You either just picked up the paper and found out 3 days later, right? So yes, you're right, bro. Comparing the 2 things like at the same time, no, it's 2 different eras. But what I'm saying is, as far as saving an entity that's like endangered, right? That's where they're comparable to. Patrick Mahomes, I'm telling you, kids is walking around with this motherfucking haircut, white and black.
Okay,
I'm
but
trying to
that's
tell
not-
you.
he's not saving the league. Yes, he's been doing a great job at
Signed an insane contract. Quarterbacks are getting paid way more money than what they should be. Running backs aren't getting paid. The league is changing based off
Right.
of this man. I'm
No,
telling
it's
you.
not.
Oh my God.
those contracts set the market depending on whoever's the top. That contract is already null and void because of Deshaun Watson. It's null and void because your man's about to sign, because of Joe Burrow. All those contracts. That's what happens.
They gave him a stupid amount of money and didn't pay the running back. And my man's.
But what I'm saying is, those contracts, because of how the cap works and how everything, it's gonna be set, and how it is in NBA now. People are gonna start making money that the top dog that was like, yo, he's getting paid more than me now, just because of the timing of the market.
Who was the poster boy in the NBA before Bird and Magic got there?
Dr. J.
Dr. J, right? So there was guys out there that were doing their thing prior to these people came, right? Same thing with Patrick Mahomes and all them guys, right? Before he got here, yeah, we had Tom Brady or whatever, right? But now we have something new to watch into the league. Matter of fact, Andy Reid he was always that guy that was just on the pinnacle of winning every time. And you felt bad for him, right? Because he would sit there.
I ain't never felt bad for him.
He would sit there with that soft gaze in the fourth quarter of gaze. He like, man, you know, Andy. And he had the unfortunate events that happened within his family, and then the guy shooting in the shit up. The player shit. You just felt bad for Andy Reid if you were a natural human being with a pulse, right?
I guess.
Right? So when you look at it like that, bro, that's what I'm saying. Like, yo, it's refreshing. It's shifting the culture. It's the same thing that we're talking about in regards to Bird and Magic. You're creating something.
Not,
yes,
man.
I'm all right.
Patrick Mahomes might be one of the, like, what he does on the field is like, dang, we ain't really seen it to that level
Sound
before.
like magic.
But we've seen him, but you talk to him and he's like, yo, I learned a lot of some of the stuff I'm doing from Aaron Rodgers. I just do it so much better.
Yeah,
I do this and that. But what I'm saying is, like, yes, but the thing is, Magic Johnson is a different level. Like, there's refreshing, and then there's what he did.
His story's not over with.
It's not. But what I'm saying is
it's on the same type of run and rise.
Patrick wasn't in the position to do what Magic did. Yes, it's refreshing. Yes, he's popular in the league. He's the face of the league. He does a good job at what he does. Yes, he probably brought in a little bit more ratings from the Kaepernick situation, but he did not save a failed league. He did not. He's not the first. He's the most incredible thing we've seen right now. But it's also, you're looking at like, well, shit.
Was the NBA really failing at that point?
Yes.
Explain.
It's about to fold.
What do you mean about to? They
Because
filed for bankruptcy.
These leagues,
They were losing money. Or
The NBA
when was the NBA thriving before then?
it wasn't. It was doing what the WNBA does, but without the NBA to prop it
But
up.
that's what I'm saying. Can you say that it was really failing?
Yes, you can.
But failing means that you were succeeding prior, and that's why I'm asking.
No,
where
failing
you
means you started something, and it's not. They never had that.
But
point.
that's succeeding to be able to start something, right? But
well, then that's your definition of succeeding.
But I'm trying for you to like.
They were doing a startup, and they were still laying a foundation, trying to build.
It sounded like
but
it was
the
still
NBA,
profitable.
By
for
the
other
time
places.
Magic comes around, the NBA had been around for a couple decades already, and they just hadn't.
That sounds
It
pretty.
hadn't got there.
That sounds like it was thriving to me for 20 years for it to be saying.
Okay, well, your definition of thrive is kind of crazy.
Yeah, but no, because are
you could be holding on.
Given your circumstances that we will not talk about, you're still thriving.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are, bro. Yo, this is why you go to therapy.
Thriving is no. I'm grateful.
Please tell me what thriving is. I need to know your
Thriving
definition.
is like
of it.
the league was because the league was
No, just in general. Don't put a
the
league or you or anything.
No.
What is thriving?
There's a difference between surviving and thriving. Surviving, you could still be grateful. It could still get worse.
And you're still not surviving personally right now because you're
in
thriving.
certain areas, I'm surviving.
No,
I'm not thriving.
Surviving means that I don't know where my next meal is gonna come from or whatever, but it's gonna get done. And when it gets done, that's surviving.
Okay, but you can take that meal metaphor and you can apply that metaphorically to all parts of your life. Man, you ain't ready for me right now. Listen, the league was surviving. Magic came through and led it to thrive.
This is our last points on this. I don't want to die.
The NFL was not in survival mode. It was probably declining a little bit. Not in survival mode. Still the biggest league in the world. Now, Patrick gave it a little more juice to maybe trend it.
A little.
I'm not going to put it all on him because Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, there's a lot of the quarterback position in general is changing.
But all your historic teams that were playing really well were not playing really well at the time he came out.
What? That has nothing to do with
what are you
I'm talking
about. What drives the NFL are the historic franchises, the Dallas Cowboys, Pittsburgh Steelers. Well, you can go ahead and throw the Patriots in there now too, right? Because they've earned that right to be like considered a high watch team. You know what I mean?
They have the best fan bases, but
which keeps
what
the
some of
league
this other
going
stuff
and generating
is
revenue.
is
The
like,
Raiders, Oakland Raiders.
But
is
what I'm
another
saying
one.
is people are going to watch football no matter what.
I don't think people were watching football.
Listen to what I'm saying. There's a reason Thursday night football exists. And a lot of those Thursday night games are mid. The teams they set up, you're just like, ain't nobody watching this. And the ratings are still higher than everything else around it.
I would have to ask Mark about that because I remember him talking about like the ratings being really like extremely stupid low and the matchups were stupid.
The matchups are stupid, and
if
the ratings,
matchups are better this year than what they were
the
last
ratings
year,
are
then
low.
I know that they knew that the ratings were
are
low.
But compared to what they're around on TV, it's usually still winning, which is why Thursday night football is a thing. Otherwise, they would scrap
Well,
it.
they thrive on this period right now too. Like right now, I'm struggling to watch something on TV. Right, like I like some of the shit, like Billions and all that shit. I'm not watching that.
And
it's
like
not
what
for
I'm
me.
saying,
People
a lot of
it.
people are loyal to that logo. Think about college sports. Yeah, I'm glad that there's good players here, but I'm here for this team. No matter who's playing under that helmet,
Now that's not
I'm
comparable.
here for it.
You can't compare the love of colleges and stuff like that and college sports to the NFL because there are whole towns and cities that will rally for a college and not for an NFL. They're more loyal
a lot of those teams.
They're loyal to their city.
A lot of those cities don't have any pro team to rally
Right,
around.
that's why I'm saying you can't use that like that logo. It's
I'm
not
only
usually
going-
the logo.
I'm just trying to move
It's a
forward.
regional thing.
Not for football.
For
Hey,
NCAA, most people that are super into NCAA are not in the
Let me tell
NFL.
you something. For 5,
People in it. Are you in the NCAA? I mean, you into college football?
For a 5 to 7 year period, Antonio Brown was the GOAT. Soon as he left my team, he can kiss my ass.
Yeah, but are you a college football fan?
No.
Exactly. Most people, you can't associate the two.
What I'm saying is people watch football, no matter who's under the helmet, a lot more. So, yes, Patrick Mahomes is great for the league.
But
nothing
NCAA
but positive.
basketball was popular at the
He's
time,
not
too.
Magic
Matter of
Johnson.
fact, NCAA basketball was probably more popular than the NBA.
He's not Magic Johnson.
I said
bottom
comparable, like
line.
what he's doing for the league. I'm not saying he's Magic Johnson.
Not for what he does for the
You're
league.
right. Let me stop, because I know what's going to happen, and I'm going to get a message about this. He is not Magic Johnson at all. Whether it's 10%, 5%, 20%.
You know who Patrick Mahomes is?
No, let me finish. I'm telling you who he is right now. If you let me get this off, I'll let you talk, because I'm done on this one, right? But whether it's 5%, 10%, 0.5%, what he's doing of that percentage is comparable to revitalizing this league, is my point.
He's Steph Curry. He's taken an already great league, and he's taken it a little bit up further. And he does it with some wow factor.
Steph Curry, I would argue, would be like a comparable. Like, look, again, I would do the same thing. I would take it down the line. That's cool, bro. We ain't got to die on this hill. Let's get some fun facts. We'll get out of here. I want them to spend some time with you. Nah, we can do 3 cheers. We're an hour and 40 in. We're good. Yeah, they spend some time with we got to spend some time with us, man. You guys hear it in our voice. We're not mad at each other. Look, 3 cheers. I want to give a 3 cheers out to Natalie Ficara. She's working with a Hawaii native, now San Diego resident and MMA fighter, Lima Leigh McFarland, who quickly organized a fundraiser and donation drive to benefit those affected by the Maui fires. So if you want to look that information up, her name is Natalie Ficara, and then the resident that is actually helping to get benefit relief to those out in Maui, with the wildfires that's going on, is LLIMA. LEI, and then McFarlane is spelled MACFARLANE. So I want to give a shout out to them, man, because again, Hawaii's not close. You know what I mean? And I imagine right now with the whole island on fire, and you guys have probably read some stories that people are jumping in the ocean to escape the fire. It's going to be hard to get, packages in and out, or people to reach people and stuff. So all the help that they can get, man, is the better. But I think it's good that people are taking the initiative out here in San Diego specifically to aid those people in relief. All of us know, we had our own fire up in Ramona. You know what I mean? So it's hot. The sun is hot. And if Hawaii is having wildfires because of dry rains and stuff like that, climate change is real.
Look, man, I'm not even going. Nope. Earthman tried to tell y'all.
Last
many
days.
Earthman before me.
What did I tell you that I agree with you on the last days on? I forgot what it was.
Probably something that wasn't.
Oh,
as
the
dramatic.
AI. It was the AI. I was like, yo, if this song can evoke a feeling out of me, like robots can do that, that's crazy.
My 3 cheers. Let me shout out to, I guess, all my peoples, man. My village. It's been a week, and so shout out to everybody, to the mother of my babies for giving me my babies, all that other shit. 3 cheers to hip hop in general, man. He saved my life every day, continuous. 3 cheers to Nip. His birthday is gonna be this week. So I would have gave him the intro. I'll give you the next one. I had to get my Rapper's Delight shit off, but yeah.
You still stream his music?
You mean in the fashion that I was?
Yeah.
No.
The data went up.
Nah,
We out.
We got Victory Lap Platinum, and I was like, I gave him a year.
Oh, man. I didn't expect for you to do it the rest of your life.